जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतः श्रीवान वैष्णव भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर महाराज की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। जय श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवदीप मायापुर धाम की जय। पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। इस्कॉन फिलाडेल्फिया की जय। जय श्री राधा शरद बिहारी की जय। जय श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की जय। परम करुणा श्री गौर निताय की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। All glories to assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
Devotees.
Hare
All
Krishna.
assembled devotees.
Hare
All
Krishna.
all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Hari Hari Bol.
Hare Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone. Good morning. So we'll be reading from, continue to read from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, which is entitled,
Chapter 1.
Canto 2. The first step,
I think 23. No, 24.
the first step, the Canto 2 is the cosmic manifestation. Chapter 1, the first step in God realization, and text 24. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Text 24. Vishesastasya dehoyam Sovishtascha saviyasam stabiyasam yatredam vyajjate viswam bhutam bhavyam bhavachasat. Vishestasya dehoyam stabishtascha stabiyasam yatredam vyajjate viswam bhutam bhavyam bhavachasat. Vishesastasya dehoyam stabishtascha stabiyasam yatredam vyajjate viswam bhutam bhavyam bhavachasat. Is it right?
Visheshastasya dehoyam stavishtascha staviyasam yatredam vyajyate vishvam bhutam bhavyam bhavachasat.
Visheshastasya dehoyam stabistascha tavishayam yatredam vyajyate vishvam bhutam bhavyam bhavishchasa.
Vishesastasya dehoyam stavishtascha staviyasam yatredam yajyate vishvam bhutam bhavyam bhavachasat.
Hare Krishna. Vishestastasya dehoyam stavishtascha staviyasam yatredam yajyate vishvam bhutam bhavyam bhavachasat. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Anyone else want to try? Yeah. Okay. So we'll go for synonyms. Visheshaha, personal. Tasya, his. Deha, body. Ayam, this. savistaha, grossly material, cha, and stabiyasam, of all matter, yatra, wherein, idam, all these phenomena, vyajyate, is experienced, viswam, universe, bhutam, past, bhavyam, future, bhavat, present, cha, and sat, resultant. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. This gigantic manifestation of the phenomenal material world as a whole is the personal body of the absolute truth, wherein the universal resultant past, present, and future of material time is experienced. Purport. Anything, either material or spiritual, is but an expansion of energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And as stated in the Bhagavad Gita 13.13, the omnipotent Lord has his transcendental eyes, heads, and other bodily parts distributed everywhere. He can see, hear, touch, or manifest himself anywhere and everywhere, for he is present everywhere as the supersoul of all infinite simul souls, although he has his particular abode in the absolute world. The relative world is also his phenomenal representation because it is nothing but an expansion of his transcendental energy. Although he is in his abode, his energy is distributed everywhere. Just as the sun is localized as well as expanded everywhere, since the rays of the sun, being non-different from the sun, are accepted as expansion of the sun disk. In the Vishnu Purana 1.22.52, it is said that the fire expands its rays and heat from one place. Similarly, the Supreme Spirit, the Personality of Godhead, expands himself by his manifold energy everywhere and anywhere. The phenomenal manifestation of the gigantic universe is only a part of his Virata body. Less intelligent man cannot conceive of the transcendental, all spiritual form of the Lord, but they're astounded by his different energies, just as the aborigines are struck with wonder by the manifestation of lightning, a gigantic mountain, or a hugely expanded banyan tree. The aborigines praise the strength of the tiger and the elephant because of their superior energy and strength. The asuras cannot recognize the existence of the Lord, although there are vivid descriptions of the Lord in the revealed scriptures. Although the Lord incarnates and exhibits his uncommon strength and energy, and although he is accepted as the Supreme Personality of Godhead by learned scholars and saints like Vyasadeva, Narada, Asita, Devala in the past, and by Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita, as also by the acharyas like Sankara Ramanuja, Madhva, and Lord Sri Chaitanya in the modern age. The asuras do not accept any evidential proof from the revealed scriptures, nor do they recognize the authority of the great acharyas. They want to see with their own eyes at once. Therefore, they can see the gigantic body of the Lord as Virata, which will answer their challenge. And since they are accustomed to paying homage to the superior material strength like that of the tiger, elephant, and lightning, they can offer respect to Virat Rupa. Lord Krishna, by the request of Arjuna, exhibited this Virat Rupa for the asuras. A pure devotee of the Lord, being unaccustomed to looking into such a mundane, gigantic form of the Lord, requires special vision for the purpose. The Lord therefore favored Arjuna with special vision for looking into his Virata Rupa, which is described in the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. This Virat Rupa of the Lord was especially manifested not for the benefit of Arjuna, but for that unintelligent class of man who accept anyone and everyone as an incarnation of the Lord, and so mislead the general mass of people. For them, the indication is that one should ask the chief incarnation to exhibit his Virat Rupa and thus be established as an incarnation. The Virat Rupa manifestation of the Lord is simultaneously a challenge to the atheist and a favor for the asuras, who can think of the Lord as Virata and thus gradually cleanse their dirty things from their hearts in order to become qualified to actually see the transcendental form of the Lord in the near future. This is a favor of the all-merciful Lord to the atheists and the gross materialists. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirbhishesha Sunyavadi Paschata Desa Tarane. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasati Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. I welcome everyone. Good morning. I would like to seek blessings of all the assembled Vaishnavas. This appears to be simple but very complicated subject matter. I seek your blessings on this subject. So, and I'll open up at the end so you can share your thoughts and realizations on this. The gigantic manifestation of the phenomenal material world as a whole is the personal body of the absolute truth, wherein the universal resultant past, present, and future of material time is experienced. Very interesting statement Sukadeva Goswami is making here to Parikshit Maharaj. When he's explaining this phase, which is entitled as the first step for God realization. This living entity in this material world is in conditioned state, which is polluted stage. So one needs purification. One needs purification. That's why so many purificatory processes are actually, established in the human society. So it's a purification for everyone. This gigantic manifestation, which is particularly described in this chapter by Sukadeva Goswami, and Prabhupada, our Acharyas, has gave very nice explanation. It's a very beautiful explanation. Even the Srimad Bhagavatam is explained for Paramahamsas, but we can see that Srimad Bhagavatam, even the one is not Paramahamsa, Srimad Bhagavatam can take that to that stage. It also has the processes where one can improve oneself from the stage where he or she is from, one step to another. Now we will focus on a little bit about what is this Virata Rupa or gigantic manifestation. That we will focus a little bit, and what it has to do. How we can see is just like a government. When we say government is as actually a manifestation of king's energy. When there's government, it's there. How? Because of the presence of the king. So this government is nothing but a manifestation of king's energy. So Lord Krishna also has multifarious potencies. He has so many unlimited energies and potencies. This Virata Rupa is actually manifestation of his potencies. Now in this sloka, it says, Prabhupada writes as translation, says that this gigantic manifestation of the phenomenal material world. Now, Krishna in Bhagavad Gita explains the two things, phenomenal and numinous. We hear about phenomenal and numinous. Krishna says, by knowing this, there's nothing to be known to you. So what is phenomenal? Phenomenal is which is temporary. And numinous, which does not change. We can say it's an eternal. Phenomenal and which is temporary, and numinous, which does not change. So Virat Rupa is a phenomenal manifestation of Lord's personal form. They make it clear again. So this universal form, which is described, which is revealed to Arjuna also, is actually a phenomenal manifestation. It means it's a temporary manifestation of Lord's personal form. Now, when we talk about in general, the pantheistic theory is that, in general, people appreciate the Lord. And there's no direct appreciation. There's always many times in very indirect appreciation. In the pantheistic theory, there is no personal aspect of the Lord is realized. Because we can see how Prabhupada writes, less intelligent man cannot conceive of the transcendental all-spiritual form of the Lord, but they're astounded by his different energies, just as the aborigines are struck with wonder by the manifestation of lightning, a gigantic mountain or hugely expanded banyan tree. We see, in our life also, when something we see extraordinary, we immediately get attracted. We immediately get attracted and we are very curious. Wow, and we appreciate it. Even devotees appreciate it. And now Prabhupada writes about the aborigines. Aborigines, they don't have any concept of personal aspect of the Lord. They have no idea who Krishna is. But still, their tendency to appreciate is there. They see they appreciate the energy primarily. When they see big mountain, wow, they worship how big mountain it is. When they see lightning, they think that they get amazed. They pay respect. And many people have seen when somebody, they don't care for the people whole life. When someone dies, and they pay respect very much. Immediately they pay respect, because they think that he has become God. And it is also, you notice that it's a big banyan tree. Out of wonder also people offer respect. The aborigines praise the strength of the tiger and the elephant because of their superior energy and strength. It's interesting, whom should we consider aborigines? Right? And we sometimes say tribals, they worship mountains, trees, and everything. Nowadays, if you go to the online YouTube, you will find, always this short videos comes. They always, create these videos. Actually, it shows how wonders people can do. People can create some wonderful things. How the animals also fight and attack some weaker animals. It really takes the attention of neophyte people very much. They spend hours and hours to watching all these wonderful things. The aborigines praise the strength of the tiger and elephant because of their superior energy and strength. Okay. Now, in this time and age, people spend so much of time to look into the screen and appreciate the wonders which is coming in social media. That also one kind of aborigines, but we will not have time to understand the absolute, the transcendental form of the absolute truth. But we'll have a lot of time to watch and appreciate. That's also indirect appreciation. The asuras, Prabhupada writes, the asuras cannot recognize the existence of the Lord, although there are vivid descriptions of the Lord in the revealed scriptures. Although the Lord incarnates and exhibits his uncommon strength and energy, and although he is accepted as the Supreme Personality of Godhead by learned scholars and saints, but asuras, and they will not accept this very easily. Do not accept any evidential proof from the revealed scriptures. So if you tell either Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, they will say, no, this is all a myth. But they will have indirect appreciation of the opulences of this world. Who is not attracted to the opulence of this world? Everybody gets attracted. So Virat Rupa is to have the idea of the Supreme Lord exists, and to give a personal aspect of the absolute to the pantheistic people, so that gradually one can contemplate on the personal aspect of the Lord. Because the tendency of appreciating is there. So when this Virat form is manifested, one will say, wow. Just like Duryodhan was, challenged Krishna. He tried to bind Krishna. When Krishna came as a peace messenger, he wanted to imprison Krishna. So Lord Krishna also manifested the partial opulences, Virata form, partial form in this. So there are many who are struck with wonder by seeing that feature. And I was hearing in the lecture of His Holiness Ramapal Swami Maharaj. He's mentioning his experience. He was in, he takes this Ayurvedic treatment. So some devotees recommended to go to a yogi who has it. So then he finally went to this yogi, and he saw he has been greeted very nicely by that an American Swami is coming. He was greeted very nicely. Then he met all these people. Everybody said how it is going to be, how it is impacting, helping them, this treatment. And then suddenly he saw that on a table, there's a universal form picture. He was there. So he went to this picture and he was looking at, and immediately the teacher, the yogi comes, he says that, oh, you know what? God is beyond this form, beyond this universal form. He's formless. So he himself comes and tells, Maharaj did not say anything. He himself comes and the God is beyond this. The form which you're seeing, universal form, God is beyond this. He's formless. So Maharaj said, oh, okay, thank you. But then he said, he didn't discuss much. He said, you see this tilak I have? Yes. We worship that God which is beyond this formless. So the yogi is saying, formless is beyond this universal form, and Maharaj is saying Krishna's transcendental form is beyond this formless, which is impersonal aspect of the Lord. So different thoughts and different level of realization. For pantheistic people, the state is very neophyte stage. For them, there's appreciation for God is there, but it's a very neophyte stage. But bhakti is in very advanced stage. So that's why Sukadeva Goswami is, this chapter is entitled as the first step of God realization also. Mother Lakshmi Mani Mataji, she was sharing one joke. I think it was spoken before. Prabhupada spoke or something, I don't know. When a devotee visits a spiritualist in the West, so when he visits, he finds that he's waiting, that he finds that the priest is waiting. The priest is busy. He's busy in talking, over the phone. So the devotee asked, who is talking with? So people say, oh, he's speaking to God. Just wait for some time. Oh, he's speaking to God? Yes. Can I also talk to him? Yeah, you can talk to him. So he got the phone. The phone was given to the devotee, and devotee started speaking God for some time. And a long bill came at the end. A long bill came, like a telephone bill, like you used to get the long. So, wow, is that much? So expensive? Then it is said that when the priest came to Vrindavan, and devotees were in Vrindavan, so he was mesmerized. He see that devotee is busy talking over the phone. So the priest asked, who is talking? He's speaking to God. Oh, is it? Can I talk? Yeah, you can also talk. So he got the phone, to him. The priest also got the phone and he spoke for some time. And bill came as very few rupees. The priest said, wow, that cheap? Yes, because God is it's a local call here. So it means, for devotees, the devotees attain that stage is God is person. For pantheistic philosophers, God is a far, 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 far beyond their conception. Very, very difficult. We may not understand because by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we have reached this stage where at least we know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That itself is a very, very advanced stage as compared to all these different philosophies. So it is for the neophyte stage, pantheistic and neophyte stage, this Virata Rupa is very relevant because they appreciate the energies of the Lord. And another Prabhupada writes in analogy is that how we know the difference between the Bhoga and Vibhuti. Bhoga and Vibhuti. So if you see the constellation of stars, there are stars and there are reflections of the stars in the mirror. So the stars and the reflections of the star. So same as Vibhutis are the reflections of Bhoga, which is the opulence of the Absolute. So what is Vibhuti? Vibhuti is actually reflection of the Bhoga of the spiritual world, Vaikuntha planet. The Lord, the one who possesses with 6 opulences, is called Bhagavan. And the one who possesses the reflections of the Absolute Truth is called Vibhuti. That's why there's a chapter is called Vibhuti Yoga in Bhagavad Gita. I think it's Vibhuti Yoga. Vibhuti Yoga, yeah. We will find it. So Vibhuti and opulences. So Vibhuti means specific representation of the Supreme Lord in this material world. So now we got the difference between the Bhoga, Bhagavan, Bhaga, and the Vibhuti. So Vibhuti means specific representation of the Supreme Lord in this material world, is just as mirror is reflection of the stars. So in this world, that is Lord manifest the Vibhuti, which is his opulences in the material world. So now meditation upon Virata, the universal form, is actually meditation on the Lord's Vibhuti form. Vibhutis, all these different Vibhutis. That's why he explains, among human, you find Arjuna, among mountains, I'm Himalayas, among water, I'm the taste, among Marutas, I'm so and so, among all luminaries, I'm sun and moon, So what we are seeing is actually the Vibhutis of the Lord by appreciating how God is great. At the preliminary stage, if you can jump into Krishna, the Supreme Personality of God is so and so, no one will believe. Even it is bewildering to the great persons like Lord Brahma, Shiva, everybody is bewildered with the Lord's form. So we know the potent through his potencies. So at the preliminary stage, these opulences, these vibhutis to know is very much important. So we know that the greatness of the Lord. Otherwise, I think we can become a sahajas. So in order to explain the 10th canto, the Lord's opulence, personal opulence, Sukadeva Goswami has given his vibhutis, for all these cantos again and again. So meditation upon Virata is actually the meditation on the Lord's vibhutis. This universal form is the vibhuti of Absolute, which is phenomenal or temporary manifestation. However, to help a neophyte to realize the personal form of the Lord is manifesting this vibhuti form. So we can see from the purports. Let me share the purport again here. Yes, yeah. So we can see here, Prabhupada writes here that Lord Krishna, by the request of Arjuna, exhibited his Virata Rupa for the Asuras. A pure devotee of the Lord, being unaccustomed to looking into such a mundane, gigantic form of the Lord, requires special vision for the purpose. The Lord therefore favored Arjuna with that special vision for looking into his Virata Rupa, which is described in the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. I remember initially when I used to go to some of the new devotees' house, I would always find many times they used to worship a universal form of the Lord. I was wondering, how come? So looks like from here it's very natural. At the beginning, one will be very much attracted to the opponent. Wow, he's such a great person. In our temples, many times we see that we invite, Prabhupada also invites some well-known person, famous person or rich person, and we treat them very nicely. Not because they are the great devotees. It's because, as Krishna says, yad yad acharati shrestha. For a rich man, if a rich person visits our temple, so those who are followers of the rich, those who appreciate rich, they will also, see, such a rich man also went to Krishna temple. Because they appreciate this vibhuti or this wealth, and when they see their leader is also coming to Krishna temple, so they will also come. That's the reason in our Krishna conscious movement, we'll see, different leaders and different famous personalities and rich people. We invite them. It's not to really worship them and appreciate them, rather engage them or engage their followers into Krishna consciousness. So the Virata Rupa of the Lord was especially manifested not for the benefit of Arjuna, but for the unintelligent class of man who accept everyone as the incarnation of the Lord, and to mislead the general mass of people. For them, the indication is that one should ask the cheap incarnation to exhibit the Virata Rupa. It will be very hard for many to convince here Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But through their taste, when they appreciate the greatness of this world, through nature, through great personalities, we can connect them to Krishna. That's why Lord is manifesting this Virata form to Arjuna is to show a favor. This is a favor of the all merciful Lord to the atheist and the gross materialistic people. So behind this, we can see the Lord is well-wisher of everyone. He wants to attract everyone. Some or other, we can indirectly appreciate Krishna's potency. And then gradually one can come to the platform. Oh, Krishna is source of everything. He is the Adi Purusha. He is the original Purusha. He is cause of all causes. That will be a devotee. That will be devotee stage. One will realize and reach to that stage in a very gradual development. That's why Sukadeva Goswami, this area he explains, and our Acharya is entitled as first step in God realization. So this is what I wanted to share. Again, coming back to this stage is phenomenal material world as a whole is the personal body of the absolute truth. So what is this meaning of personal body? Is the vibhuti form of the absolute truth, which is the reflection, which is temporary reflection of the Bhagavan in the spiritual world. And within this, the experiences of past, present, and future is experienced. Because in the real spiritual world is everything is eternal, wherever the past, present, and future, the effect of time is experienced only in this temporary phenomenal material world. So I will stop it here, and I'm sorry if it's too much of philosophical. This subject was like that. It's difficult. I see Vishnugada Prabhu is there, Acharya Prabhu is there, and other devotees. I would like to request to share something on this. I can share the screen. Please.
Krishna Kirtan, Prabhu, Hare Krishna. You were talking about you mentioned the vibhuti, and you were saying bhoga. I thought you were saying bhoga, but
Bhaga.
I thought you meant bhaga. Bhaga, is that right?
Bhaga, not bhoga.
Okay.
Bhaga.
Bhoga usually means being enjoyed. Yeah. Okay. Okay. And then you see in this one part, the in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says this Virat Rupa is just a part of his. Let's see, where is it? The Virat body. Let's see, the phenomenal manifestation of the gigantic universe is only a part of his Virat body. What do you make of that?
I noticed that. Phenomenal manifestation of the gigantic universe is only a part of his Virat. It's interesting. I'm glad you caught that. I also saw that. So, what I understood from this is, it's a wonderful question. When Brahma came to see Lord Krishna, and he said, because Lord Krishna wanted to, take his pride out, he said, which Brahma? Ask him which Brahma he is. So Brahma was puzzled. So during that pastime, the Lord revealed that how the so many unlimited Brahmas from many universes has come. So in that way, I understand that this Virata, not only this universe as a universal form, in the overall, the material manifestation also gigantic is also the Virata body. That's what I understand. Any thoughts?
It could be that. Yeah, I was thinking along the same lines. There's so many different. I see Acharya has his hand up. Acharya.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. I don't have exactly an answer to that, but what that Prabhupada is doing in that line is that he's distinguishing the idea of the universal form from the philosophy of pantheism. In pantheism, there's an exact equality or making equal of the material creation and God. But by saying this, Prabhupada says that beyond that, there's more. So he's differentiating it from ordinary pantheism. That's
yeah,
it.
I see what you're saying. But of course, he says only part of his Virat body. He doesn't say part of his whole existence. And so the phenomenal manifestation of the gigantic universe is only part of his Virat body. You follow?
Yes, so that even the Virat Purusha is also not exactly pantheism. There's more. There's more to the Virat Purusha than just the material existence.
Okay.
That beyond that, there's still some. He doesn't specifically say here, but Krishna maintains his transcendental existence beyond the material creation, which is not included in pantheism.
But with that,
like I said, it's not really an answer. It's just a thought on what Prabhupada is trying to get at here.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Yeah, I also looked into it, and I accepted maybe that's what it is. If he's referring to the universal form which Lord Krishna revealed to Arjuna, did he say the many sons? I don't remember. Or it's bright like many suns. I don't remember. But the whole purpose of the essence of it is to show that how insignificant the living entity is. How insignificant. I feel we living entity out of proud and out of false ego, we think that we are great. And how insignificant we are when we look into this and the whole earth, we are nothing. And this earth is nothing when we look into other planets compared to sun. And sun is nothing when we compare to this universe. And this universe is nothing when we compare to so many other universes. So it is the education to humbling for everybody, that realizing the opulences of the Absolute is so vast. That's what one of the lessons I'm trying to get from here. Any other questions or comments? Was it any corrections? We can be a little more time. It's 8:34. So it's like a short class today. Maybe I can.
So I have a question for.
Mhm.
I'm just thinking about, you're talking about the universal form according to pantheism. Is it the whole universe? Is it what I understand, that in the universal form of the Lord, everything exists. According to pantheism, or the whole universe, they accept the whole universe as God,
Right.
as God. So is it that if what we're talking about with part is saying the universal form doesn't have everything that exists in this universe, in all the universes?
Well, the point is, this is it's like a primary class student. You have to give something which he can be eligible to go to the secondary. So similarly, those who do not have faith on the Supreme Lord and do not understand the Supreme Lord, but they appreciate the potencies, opulences of the Lord. So for them, this universal form is only meant for give them a personal aspect of the Absolute. So there's God realization there. Okay, God exists everywhere, formless, but universal form, apart from manifesting all this vibhuti, it also gives the student an understanding. There's a form is also in there. The form is also one of the attributes. It basically just adds additional, and the form is one of the attributes. That's how our teachers, Ramanujacharya, when he came from Sankaracharya's philosophy, when he gave Visishta Advaitavada, he gave, he tries to give the attributes of the Absolute. So universal, for pantheistic philosophers, universal form, actually they're far from Krishna, but at least the concept of personal aspect will be given to them. They will accept, yes, ultimately it's universal form. It's a very neophyte level of realization. But at least the personal, that's why Prabhupada throughout his books is again and again, we will see that repetition happens. Always he compares between the personal and impersonal, personal and impersonal. He wants to make sure that we understand that the God is person. That is what it is. So pantheistic, they will move to the next stage, by realizing that, by accepting or understanding the personal aspect or attributes of the Absolute in a temporary form. It's very easy. We have to give people the way they can connect very easily. For scientists also, you offer like this, which they can understand. So here Prabhupada writes that you see, the Virat devotees has really no interest very much, because they understand their interest is on the Lord than his energies. Materialistic people will be attracted towards energies more. Prabhupada say, we are happy. We don't need a big temples. We are happy by chanting in this age. Harinam is everything. We are happy, but how will you attract those people? So that's why big temples are many times built just to attract them. Otherwise, whether small temple or big temple, our process is chanting the holy name. So the Virata Rupa manifestation of the Lord is simultaneously a challenge to the atheist and a favor to the asuras, who think of the Lord as Virata and thus gradually cleanse the dirty things from their hearts in order to become qualified to actually see the transcendental form of the Lord in the near future. Now I have a question to Vishnugata Prabhu and Acharya Prabhu also. What is the meaning of here to the atheist and asuras? What is the difference between these two?
No
Atheist.
particular difference.
Then why it was specified here? Atheist is a challenge to the atheist and a favor to the asuras. Is asuras has some asuras? Is it like asuras accept some aspect of the God?
They
That's
can.
Yeah, so we can see atheists that do not accept anyone as superior, or asuras they accept at least someone as superior. Is that true? Just like Prabhupada giving us in Moscow, Dr. Katwasky, what is Katwasky? So he said that you accept Lenin as your superior, as your authority, and I accept Krishna as our authority. Is it like atheists, they don't accept anyone? And asuras accept somebody as that's I don't know. I need the clarification on this.
I don't know.
Acharya, you want to say something on this, or anyone else? Okay, no problem. So who can think of the Lord as Virat and thus gradually cleanse the dirty things from their hearts in order to become qualified to actually see the transcendental form of the Lord in near future. So gradually, it's a purificatory process. Some other devotees show their mercy and the Lord's mercy to such kind of people by distributing books and sharing and bringing them, bringing them to Krishna consciousness. So thank you so much. So we will stop it here. Hare Krishna.
I want to clarify, Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah.
I want to clarify something. I think I heard that Krishna showed his and this Virat Swarup to Yashoda, Arjun, and Brahma. They were the same Virat Roop or different kinds?
Yeah, very nice question. As far as I see that same Virat form, but different proportions. Different
Okay.
proportions. Yeah, different proportions. Like I gave the example of Lord revealing his universal form in the assembly of Dhritarashtra.
Yeah.
So there he gave a partial, so it's a different proportions of the universal form. That's what I understand.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Everyone have a wonderful day. Vancha kalpatarvyascha asindhivescha patitanam pavanebhyo
Vaishnava Navana. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Krishna.